The Trailblazers have been on the rise over the past few years. After narrowly missing the play-in last season, there's a growing sense that this team is on the verge of something special. A true breakout feels closer than ever. What's not to like about this roster? Over the summer, Tom Dundon took over as a new owner, bringing the same discipline and visionary leadership that rebuilt the Carolina Hurricanes in hockey. And just like that, Portland started to feel like a franchise with direction again. They made all the right moves. DeAndre Ayton, who had become more of a weight than a cornerstone, is gone, clearing space for the rise of one of the most intriguing young bigs in the league, Donovan Clingan. Clingan showed flashes of dominance in his rookie campaign, averaging 1.6 blocks in just 20 minutes per game, anchoring the paint with a mix of raw power and surprising touch. He's not the quickest on his feet, but when he's out there, he controls the space around him. He only just shot about under 29% from 3, yet his mechanics look clean and repeatable, especially for a 7-footer. There's potential written all over that jumper, and the best part, he stayed healthy. He played 67 games as a rookie, ready to take another leap. What makes Portland fascinating this season is the layers of breakout potential. A, they have more young players ready to rise than almost any other team. B, their offseason was one of the most quietly excellent in the league. And last but not least, their cap flexibility gives them the freedom to make a big splash, the kind that turns promise into contention. Now let's talk about the players, starting with Shaedon Sharpe, who feels like he's been waiting on the edge of stardom for some time now. But what's not to love about him? A freak athlete with genuine scoring feel. Sharpe averaged 18.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists on 45, 31 and 79 shooting splits. He's still only 22 years old and just signed a 4-year, $90 million contract. A clear vote of confidence from the organization. Unlike Cam Thomas in Brooklyn, Sharpe isn't a one-dimensional scorer. He's flashed playmaking instincts, but more importantly, he has the physical tools to become a plus defender in the NBA. If he can tighten his shot from deep, the game will open up completely. His ceiling, an all-star guard who wrecks closeouts and changes games with chase-down blocks and transition steals. Then there's Scoot Henderson, a top 3 pick in his draft class, and with Damian Lillard sidelined for the season, Scoot has the keys to the offense and a chance to grow without a shadow over him. The Westbrook and Morant comparison may have been lofty, but the tools are still there, the burst, the strength, the vision and motion. What Scoot needs now is refinement, slowing the game down in the pick and roll, reading the floor instead of racing through it, and improving that outside shot. If he can find a rhythm from deep, he'll become far more dangerous. Not unlike how Corey Kispert leverages his shooting gravity to attack closeout. Scoot's path isn't about explosion anymore, it's about control. And then comes the mystery, Hansen Young, the rookie Portland traded up for, and a player who's already being whispered about as being mini Jokic. Watching him, it's clear why. His feel for the game stands out immediately. In the CBA, he won Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie, yet it's his passing and vision that catch the eye. He's not a stopper yet, but he doesn't have to be. Surrounded by strong defenders, Young can play to his strengths, orchestrating offense, connecting plays, and quietly redefining what a big can be in Portland's system. Another foundational piece is Toumani Camara, who also signed long-term this offseason, 4 years, $72 million. Camara might be one of the best defensive forwards in the league, earning an all-defensive nod last year and leading the NBA in charges taken. His improvement has been linear, steady and relentless. With his frame and motor, he's the kind of player every contender dreams of. And the best part, he's still only in his 3rd season. And of course Deni Avdija. Last season, he quietly took the next step, 17 points, 7.3 rebounds, 4 assists on the year. But after the All-Star break, he went nuclear, averaging 23.3 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 5.2 assists over 20 games. The surge wasn't just a hot streak. It was proof that Deni could lead an offense. If he maintains that level across an entire season, in the competitive Western Conference, an All-Star appearance feels like a real possibility. And then finally, we come to Ryan Rupert, the forgotten Frenchman, a 6'6" forward with 7'2" wingspan. Rupert is the most raw of the group, but also perhaps the most transformative if he hits. He has the defensive instincts, the length and flashes of shooting to become a mini Camara, another long, versatile defender who embodies his team's growing identity. If he finds consistency, the Blazers' defense could become suffocating. With all their key players locked in, Portland finally feels stable, a fertile ground where development can actually root. I speak about the opportunity to make a big-time splash, and what bigger splash is there to make than trading for a former 2-time MVP, Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. In Giannis, they get a proven top 5 guy in the league who is looking for a way out of Milwaukee. The Blazers would give up Jeremy Grant, Scoot, Chris Murray and Ryan Rupert and would have to add a ton of draft capital to convince Milwaukee to trade Giannis. Why this would work is because the Bucks would get their own pick rights back for 2028 and 2030, allowing them to retake control over their own future and possibly go into a real rebuild, instead of constantly trying to retool around Giannis with assets you don't have. And while the idea of a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade is more fantasy than a forecast, it's hard not to dream. Picture it, Drew Holiday and Toumani Camara locking down the perimeter, and then Klingon and Giannis waiting in the paint. A defense that could break opponents' will. Even without such a blockbuster deal, the Blazers' future burns bright. With internal growth, steady leadership and a roster that's learning how to win together, this team might just be 2 or 3 years from something real, something special. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe and let me know in the comments what kind of breakdowns you'd like to see next.